You gotta give him a camera, buddy.
Oh, I'm not scared of the camera.
No, I know you ain't scared.
Listen, I took a show for 5.5 years. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm 20 pounds heavier on screen.
Everybody ready? Come on, this side.
Got a sign?
No, I got it. I got it. Y'all good? All right. Good morning. Wanted to have a little press conference just to let everybody know the COVID issues in our parish has increased. We have a 6.6% positivity rate in our parish, which has increased a lot. It's up 43% since the last numbers that came out, which was last week. So we have an issue in our parish, and we're asking that each and every one of you adhere to the face mask, 6-foot distance, and washing of the hands, the basic fundamentals of trying to keep this pandemic in check. Total cases in our parish is 4,165 as of this morning, and total deaths are 142. So these numbers are increasing. We've seen a spike in the last couple of weeks, so we're trying to stop this from happening. Today I have Dr. Jenkins with our school board, and we have Mr. Richard LaBeouf with our solid waste. So they can tell y'all the issues that they have with their department. So Dr. Jenkins, if you want to go.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it. First of all, thank you. Do you need anything from me? Time you asked for my name and spelling and everything else. So Patrick Jenkins, Superintendent, St. Landry Parish Schools, Patrick Jenkins. First of all, I'd just like to say to our community and to our teachers, we definitely appreciate all of their hard work in allowing us the opportunity to get back into schools. But as Mr. Bertrand said, is that right now, Jesse said that we are experiencing an increase within our parish. We definitely want to keep it below that 10% mark, preferably at 5%, as we've had it previously. We know that we've been experiencing more hospitalization, also increases in our emergency room visits. Within our region itself, our numbers have gone up significantly, and they are having an impact on our schools and how we educate children. And so we want to be able to reach out to the community and say to them, help us be able to continue to educate our children in a face-to-face manner as much as we possibly can. So just a few points that we've noticed. And looking at our data, the overwhelming majority are reflective of community spread within our community, greater than 90%. What does that mean? Within our community, we're having a lot of social gatherings, homecoming events that are not affiliated with the school district. We are also having parties, house parties, large gatherings that are happening. And of course, hopefully those things don't happen during our Thanksgiving break. But those things are attributing to the number of cases that we're having in our schools, primarily our high schools in particular. So if we have a positive case, then we have a large number of students that are potentially out of our schools. So for example, be familiar with some of our high schools that have had to cancel their football last 2 games because of positive cases. And so these are the things that affect us. It doesn't have to be no more than one case that can cancel a football season. And so, again, it's not multiple cases, it's more quarantining everyone else afterwards. Also, we want to be able to look at the possibility of wearing masks throughout the parish and region. As Jesse indicated, that we want to emphasize that. And then also, we want to be able to look at how can we possibly, isolate or quarantine people. Our biggest issue is not so much the positivity, but the quarantine. it affects our schools and our teachers. So if you have to affect so many teachers, then we may have to go back to virtual learning. And so we want to definitely emphasize that to our community. So what can we do? Wash our hands. And all during the holidays that are coming up. And then what I like to say prior to any questions, percentage positive rate goes up and all the other indicators. But if we take it to prevent and debts, children to go back to school or continue to stay in school in the format that they're in. So it's critically important for the safety of our educators. It's critically important for the safety of our children and our community as a whole. If we don't take these necessary steps and contain this increase, it may lead to our students returning back to virtual learning, and no one wants that. So as tragically as this virus has claimed lives within our region, I think we can, and I know we can, combat this by just doing those small, simple things. So I know that everyone's sharing my concerns, and again, just are asking collectively if you can help us with this. So, thank you.
As far as the staffs at your schools, how much has the spike affected employees in the schools?
Oh, again, not so much the positivity. If you have one positive case, you literally could have multiple staff members that have had close contact with someone that was positive, thus the impact. So you have one positive case, you may have 8 adults that have to be out. And so that plays a critical role in how we educate children and the functionality of our schools.
How many positives have you had in your staff?
I don't have those numbers with me. I know they have those on the website that's provided. But we haven't had very many in our elementary, K-4 in particular. Most of the cases that the vast majority have been in our high schools. And that's usually, again, program through the state, more testing of staff and students, if given permission, or have symptoms. So we've partnered with them. These tests are free. We have ordered 20% of our population, which is approximately 26,000 tests that are available, or they'll be coming in very soon. And so we're encouraging and working on the Department of Health and to do testing. I think this Thursday, the 18th of November, we'll have a testing site set up, or working with the parish as well, set up at the Civic Center to do more testing. So as needed, do health, see if we can set up more testing sites.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only school that hasn't had to cancel the last 2 games is North Central. All the rest, Eunice had it, but now they're back to where they can play their last game, I think.
Correct. Eunice is back. They played last week.
Right.
North Central is currently playing, and Northwest, we anticipate they should be returning on Wednesday or Thursday, and so they plan on playing their last game on Saturday prior to hopefully making the playoffs. So at this time, Beauchamp and Opelousas High School and Port Barry are not playing the last 2 games.
I know Eunice High had to close down and go back to virtual for a couple of weeks. How many other schools have had to do that?
Currently, just Eunice High School. Again, we look at many different factors from positivity to just the functionality of the school, which is a huge component of it. So we don't have enough staff members, and or if we have a number of students that are out quarantining, then we had to make the decision to go virtual for that 2-week period. So again, we're just asking the community to help us, because again, if we get to 10% positivity rate or above, then we start having to look at other decisions with regards to how we're going to continue to educate children. What is the best learning modality? Because if students and staff members are out consistently, that's not the most quality way to be able to educate children.
With Thanksgiving break only a few days away, we're looking at next week, what's maybe your message to students and families who maybe plan on traveling and doing things for Thanksgiving holidays?
Well, that's an excellent question. I think right now we're asking them to stay in their small groups, the immediate family members, not have large gatherings. We've noticed within our communities, with community spread, that every time we've had large gatherings, these homecoming activities type things, that we've had a burst of positive cases, or where we've had to quarantine a number of students and staff members. So if they can just help us not have those large gatherings, I think we can continue educating children the way that we are. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to have Mr. Richard LaBeouf. He's our Director of Solid Waste. He'll have some issues to discuss with you all. And after that, the Mayor of Opelousas and State Representative Dustin Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Billard. I just really want to be really brief. The debris pickup that's going on right now in St. Landry Parish post Delta is going to be suspended for probably at least 7 to 10 days. We have 5 of our guys with Waste Connections, our contract that is picking up, that have tested positive, and because of the hotbed, as Dr. Jenkins and Mr. Billard said earlier, here they're not sending anyone else to do any relieving because of the positivity rate. So your household waste connections, the household waste collections will keep on as usual, but because of the manpower shortage, we're not going to be picking up the hurricane debris, and we're looking at 7 to 10 days. We're hoping to get started again right after that. So again, my apologies, and I beg your indulgence. Stay safe.
Any questions? Thank you, Richard.
Richard?
Yes.
Excuse me, these cases, are these guys from the landfill or?
No, they're with our contractor, Waste Connections.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President, and welcome to you all. Just want to reiterate what Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Bellard, and Mr. LaBeouf said. Look, it's going to take a collective effort from all of us to continue to practice the mitigating measures that's been in place for many, many months now. And because of the spike that we are all experiencing right now, it's more incumbent upon each of us to make sure that we do everything possible, not only for ourselves in the immediate, but also for the families, for the members of our community, for those that we service each and every day. Mr. Jenkins spoke about the teachers, the staff, and the parents. Everyone has to come together collectively, do what's necessary, make sure that you practice, wash your hands, wear your mask, do all these mitigating factors that Representative will speak about when he comes up here. If we can do that, we can knock this positivity rate that's starting to spike upon us. But if we neglect to adhere to those circumstances that we are all confined by, we're going to be looking at a spike, and we're going to have to go back to some of the measures that none of us wants to experience. So I implore everyone, especially the citizens of Opelousas, to make sure to avoid these large crowds, wear your mask, wash your hands, and convey this message also to those that you come around and you come in contact with. And if you see where those statements or that measures need to be conveyed from the positions that President Bellard and I sit, please call our office and let us know, and we'll do whatever we can. We want to get past this, but it's going to take an effort from all of us. God bless you. God bless all of us, and continue to do the right thing. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Good morning. I just want to echo what these gentlemen just said. I want you to think about where we were months ago, where we are today, and just reassure everyone that the mitigation efforts have not stopped. Wearing masks, practicing social distance, limiting the crowd small. The governor have not pulled back those measures. We're in phase 3. I think the citizens of Louisiana as a whole spoke very strongly that we wanted our economy back open. We wanted kids to go back to school. We wanted kids to play sports. All of those things have been accomplished. And then now we're right here where we're seeing an uptick in numbers. I just want to stress to everyone, I mean, right now the testing results are coming back very quickly, I think throughout the state, not just here in St. Landry Parish, but at first that was an issue. You had tests coming back 10, 14 days later. There's a quicker turnaround on all tests, but we need you to practice your social distance, continue wearing your mask so that you won't see us go back to phase 2 or phase 1. If there continue being an uptick in numbers, like the superintendent said, you may end up going all virtual back. You may end up having the governor reverse back to phase 2 or phase 1. I think we're in a good place. I think we are moving forward. The economy is back going. We just have to continue the mitigation efforts, wearing your mask, practicing social distance, and limiting the small crowds. Everywhere that contact tracing is happening in St. Landry Parish is tracing back to a big event that was held, and many of them without masks. So please, we're just asking y'all to do your part so that we don't have to go backwards, and we can continue moving forward and keeping the economy as open as much as possible. Thank you.
Mr. Miller, is there any issue with conflicting messages from the government? You have Republican legislators petitioning to release all the mandates, and of course the judge came back and reinforced the mandate. Is that a problem for the public to hear those conflicting messages?
I think that's an accurate assessment, that there was some conflicting messages a week ago, that you can do whatever you want. What you call it again? The veto, not the veto message. The petition had overturned the governor. Well, the judge came back last week and ruled that it was unconstitutional. Obviously, the Attorney General is now pushing it to the Supreme Court, which I expect it to be unconstitutional again. But look, whether it's constitutional or unconstitutional, in order for us to slow these numbers down, we need to wear masks, we need to practice social distance, and we need to continue to have a smaller size of gatherings. So that shouldn't change. I think that's a nationwide thought, that is the only thing that will get the numbers and decrease the spread, get the numbers down. So I would encourage everyone to remember the mitigation efforts are still in effect. Any more questions? Thank you.
That's all I have. We wanted to put this together in reference to this COVID outbreak that's happening in our parish. We're trying to reduce these numbers any way we can. And I'm against going back to a phase 2 or phase 1. But if we don't start doing things for ourselves, we might have to go back to that. And I'm trying to avoid that. So that's our main reason for this press conference. And we need to just move forward, not backwards. Any questions? Thank y'all.